The Galactic Council chamber went utterly silent when Commander Hazel struck the crystalline table with all four of her clawed hands. The sound echoed like a fracture through glass. The Zarian War Commander loomed over the assembly, her armored scales pulsing with deep indigo rage, her crest flaring wide in a dominance display that had forced entire civilizations into submission without a single shot fired. "You dare speak of peace?" Hazel hissed. Her translator rendered the harsh Zarian clicks into flawless galactic standard. "Your species barely escaped its gravity well a century ago. You know nothing of war. Nothing of sacrifice." At the far end of the chamber, Leo sat at the human delegation's table, outwardly unimpressive. His simple gray suit stood in sharp contrast to the ornate armor and ceremonial attire worn by the others. He appeared young by most standards, barely 30, his brown hair plain, his eyes tired in a way that suggested experiences no one there wished to imagine. His fingers tapped lightly against the table, a steady, almost meditative rhythm. "The humans will accept Zariarthian terms," Hazel continued coldly, towering over the seated delegates. "You will cede our outer rim colonies. You will provide tribute, resources, technology, and you will do so with gratitude, knowing we spare your home world from erasure." Unease rippled through the chamber. The Valorans shifted. The Kathari murmured. Even the Numa collective hesitated. The Zarian Armada was legend. Its fleets had crushed 47 species across 2 millennia. Resistance was typically brief. Leo finally lifted his gaze. "No." The word landed like a dropped weapon. Hazel's crest flattened, then expanded wider than before. "What did you say, primate?" "I said no." Leo rose slowly, his movements unhurried. "We decline your terms." "All of them?" Hazel laughed, a brittle sound like shattering crystal. "You believe your handful of colonies and patrol ships can oppose the Zarian Empire? We conquered starfaring empires while your ancestors still struggled with fire." "I'm familiar with your history," Leo replied calmly. He reached into his jacket pocket. Guards stiffened instantly. Instead of a weapon, he produced a small data chip and placed it on the table. "I've studied it very carefully." Hazel narrowed her eyes. "Is this some human attempt at intimidation?" "It's my service record," Leo said. "You may want to review it before making any final decisions." The Valoran ambassador emitted a sharp crystalline tone, attempting to interject, but Hazel ignored it. She snatched the data chip and slotted it into her wrist console. As the information scrolled, her scales shifted color, indigo fading to violet, then to a sickly gray-green. This cannot be correct," she whispered. Leo remained perfectly still. The Battle of Proxima Station. The Siege of New Harmony. The Kepler Incident. All verified by independent observers. All present in your own intelligence archives. Around the chamber, delegates frantically accessed their consoles. Gasps echoed. Electronic alerts chirped. Shock rippled through the assembly. Hazel stared at Leo. "You are the ghost of the void." "I prefer Lieutenant Commander Leo Chen," he said mildly. "Retired." "But yes. Some called me that." The data painted an impossible picture. A single human pilot credited with destroying 73 capital ships. A fighter that held open evacuation routes for 16 hours against overwhelming odds. A human who disabled a Zarian dreadnought by flying directly into its engine core, detonating antimatter, and somehow escaping alive. "But the war ended 8 years ago," Hazel said, uncertainty bleeding into her voice. "Our intelligence reported you killed in the final battle." "I was there," Leo said softly. "We all were." He stepped away from the table, his footsteps barely audible in the vast chamber. Hazel, towering meters above him, took an unconscious step back. "Every human pilot who survived that war made the same choice," Leo continued. "We ended it because we decided peace mattered more than victory." He stopped in front of her. Humanity learned something during that conflict. We learned we were very, very good at killing. Too good. The room held its breath. We could have destroyed your home world, he said evenly. We had the coordinates. The firepower. And after what you did to New Beijing, the motivation. Hazel looked into his eyes and felt something far worse than anger. Certainty. Absolute, controlled certainty. Leo's voice never rose, but it carried undeniable weight. We stopped because we chose to be better than our worst instincts, he said. We helped form this council. We offered peace to every species we fought, including yours. We hoped the galaxy could become something more than endless war. He retrieved the data chip and slipped it back into his pocket. But if you threaten us, he continued, if you push us, if you mistake restraint for weakness, then we can remember exactly who we were. Hazel's translator struggled as her natural voice slipped through in a deep, fearful rumble. What are you saying? I'm saying take your fleet and go home, Leo replied simply. Tell your emperor humanity wishes to remain friends. But if he insists on war, he should understand something. Leo gestured toward the empty seats at the human table. The ghost of the void isn't unique. He's just the one you documented. The implication settled like a gravitational collapse. There are thousands of us, Leo said. Pilots. Commanders. Strategists. All retired. All trying to live peaceful lives. All hoping we never have to fly again. Silence consumed the chamber. Hazel straightened, her crest flattening into a posture of respect. I will deliver your message to the Emperor. Please do, Leo said. He turned toward the exit, then paused. And Commander, thank you for giving me the opportunity to decline politely. It's been a long time since I've had to threaten anyone. I'd forgotten how much I despised it. The doors sealed behind him. Hazel collapsed into her seat, her scales drained of color. The Valoran ambassador chimed softly. The humans are more terrifying in peace than they ever were in war. Why? Hazel whispered. Because, the Valoran replied, they remember exactly what they're capable of, and choose every day not to become that again. But push them far enough, and that choice may disappear. Hazel stared at her console. Slowly, deliberately, she deleted the demand for tribute. A new message replaced it. A recommendation for alliance. She had learned something vital in that chamber. Some threats were better left unspoken, especially when they revealed who was truly in danger.